Introduce the topic and grab the viewer's attention. Briefly say what the Balkh Museum is, where it is located, and why it's important. Mention that this video will explore the history, artifacts, challenges, and importance of this museum in the ancient city of Balkh. Balkh is located in northern Afghanistan, in Balkh province, about 20 kilometers 12 miles northwest of the city of Mazar. Geographically, it lies in a fertile plain between the northern foothills of the Hindu Kush Mountains and the southern bank of the Amyo Darya Oxus River, which separates Afghanistan from Central Asian countries like Uzbekistan and Tajikistan. This strategic position places Balkh at a natural crossroads between South Asia, Central Asia, and the Middle East. Historically, it stood along one of the most important branches of the ancient Silk Road, the trade network that connected China, India, Persia, and the Mediterranean world. Caravans carrying silk, spices, gemstones, and manuscripts once passed through Balkh, making it a vibrant center of commerce, culture, and religion. Because of its ancient origins and cultural importance, Balkh is often called the mother of cities, Al-Belad in Arabic or Al-Qura in Persian. Historical sources indicate that Balkh was already a developed settlement thousands of years before the time of Alexander the Great. Some traditions trace its origins to at least the 2nd millennium BCE, while others link its early history to the mythical Iranian king Kayamars or to Zoroaster's Zarathustra, the founder of Zoroastrianism, who is believed by some to have lived or preached in Balkh. This makes Balkh one of the oldest, continuously inhabited cities in human history. The landscape around Balkh is a mix of desert and lush cultivated land, supported by ancient irrigation systems that diverted water from nearby rivers and streams. This fertile environment allowed the city to flourish as an agricultural and trade hub. Its proximity to modern-day Mazar-e-Sharif also adds to its importance, as Mazar-e-Sharif is one of Afghanistan's largest cities and home to the famous Blue Mosque Shrine of Ali, which draws pilgrims and travelers, many of whom also visit the historic ruins of Balkh. In ancient and medieval times, Balkh served as the capital of the region, known as Bactria, and played a central role in the Achaemenid Persian Empire, the Greek Seleucid Empire, and later the Greco-Bactrian Kingdom. It was also a significant center for Buddhism before the arrival of Islam, with monasteries and stupas spread throughout the region. Today, the ruins of Old Balkh include remnants of city walls, gateways, old mosques, and archaeological sites that hint at its former grandeur. Although modern development has shifted towards Mazar-e-Sharif, Balkh still carries the weight of its ancient legacy. Its location near major historical routes, fertile lands, and religious significance made it a cradle of culture, philosophy, and trade for thousands of years. The story of Balkh is not just about a place, it is about a civilization that has witnessed empires rise and fall, faiths emerge and flourish, and the continuous passage of travelers, scholars, and merchants across time. Balkh is one of the most historically rich cities in the world, with a legacy that stretches across thousands of years, multiple civilizations, and several major world religions. Known in ancient times as Bactria or Bacti, it was the capital of ancient Bactria, a powerful region that connected Persia, Central Asia, and the Indian subcontinent. Because of its deep roots and cultural continuity, Balkh has been referred to as the cradle of civilizations in Central Asia. The earliest recorded history of Balkh dates back to the Bronze Age, around 2000 BCE or even earlier. It is believed to have been one of the core centers of the Bactria-Margiana archaeological complex, a Bronze Age civilization characterized by fortified cities, irrigation systems, and advanced craftsmanship. Some traditions even claim that the prophet Zoroaster Zarathustra, founder of Zoroastrianism, lived, taught, or died in Balkh, making it an early spiritual center. The Avesta, the holy scripture of Zoroastrianism, refers to a sacred land called Bacti, which many scholars connect to Balkh. Around the 6th century BC, Balkh became part of the Achaemenid Persian Empire under Cyrus the Great and later, Darius I. It served as a satrapy province of the empire and gained major importance due to its fertile land and trade routes. When Alexander the Great invaded the Persian Empire in 329 BC, he captured Balkh and married Roxana, a noblewoman from Bactria, further cementing Balkh's place in Greek and Persian history. After Alexander's death, Balkh became part of the Seleucid Empire and later the Greco-Bactrian Kingdom. During this time, the area flourished as a hub of Hellenistic art, architecture, and coinage mixed with Persian traditions. Greek-style temples, sculptures, and coins have been discovered in and around Balkh, proving its multicultural nature. Later, the Kushan Empire, which controlled a large area from northern India to Central Asia, made Balkh a key center for Buddhism. Monasteries, stupas, and learning centers sprang up in the region, and Buddhist monks traveled between India and China through Balkh along the Silk Road. In the 7th century, Islam arrived in Balkh after the Arab conquests. The city transformed into a major center of Islamic scholarship, Sufism, science, and literature. It became home to famous poets, scholars, and mystics, such as Jalal al-Din Rumi's father, Baha al-Din, who was originally from Balkh. the city gained such prestige that it was often compared to great centers like Baghdad and Nishapur. However, Balkh's golden age suffered a devastating blow in 1220 when the Mongol leader, Genghis Khan, invaded the region. Historical accounts describe that the Mongols destroyed the city, killed much of the population, and burned its libraries and mosques. Despite this destruction, Balkh was later rebuilt under the Timurid and Safavid dynasties, though it never fully returned to its earlier glory. By the 18th and 19th centuries, Balkh was overshadowed by rising regional cities like Mazar. However, it remained a symbol of ancient prestige and spiritual memory. Even today, poets and historians call it Amalkara, mother of cities. And its ruins, ancient walls, gateways, and archaeological remains are a silent testament to its former greatness. The Balkh Museum, also known as the Museum of Archaeology of Balkh, was established to preserve the rich cultural legacy of one of the world's oldest continuously inhabited cities, often referred to as the Mother of Cities. The museum was founded during the mid-20th century, initially as a small collection space inside historical structures close to the ancient ruins of Balkh. Over time, archaeologists from Afghanistan and international teams conducted excavations across the area, uncovering artifacts from key civilizations including the Greek under Alexander the Great, Kushan, Buddhist, Islamic, and Timurid eras during the Soviet invasion and the civil wars that followed. The museum endured significant threats. Many artifacts were damaged, stolen, or smuggled. However, with the efforts of local historians, elders, and cultural protection organizations, many items were safeguarded or later recovered. Restoration efforts in the early 2000s helped rebuild the museum's structure, update its exhibition spaces, and reorganize its collections. Today, the museum stands as a testament to Balkh's historical significance, showcasing the wealth of civilizations that once thrived in the region. From Buddhist stupas and Greek coins to Islamic manuscripts and intricately carved pottery, it plays an essential role in preserving Afghanistan's identity and educating future generations about the cultural tapestry woven into the soil of Balkh. The Balkh Museum houses an extraordinary collection of artifacts that reveal the deep layers of history, spirituality, trade, and culture that once flourished in this ancient city. Each exhibit is carefully arranged to represent the different eras that shaped Balkh, from prehistoric settlements to Islamic dynasties. Prehistoric and early civilizations. The museum begins with stone tools, pottery, and clay figurines from early settlements around Balkh, dating back thousands of years before written history. These artifacts were uncovered in nearby archaeological sites like Tepe Zargaran and Tepe, highlighting early agriculture, craftsmanship, and community life in northern Afghanistan. Achaemenid and Greek Hellenistic period bronze weapons, seals, pottery, and administrative tools from the Achaemenid Empire showcase Balkh's role as a Persian sage. A special gallery highlights the arrival of Alexander the Great 330 BCE, who rebuilt Balkh as part of his empire. Items from the Hellenistic era include Greek silver and bronze coins bearing the faces of Alexander and Seleucid rulers, terracotta statues of Greek soldiers, mythological figures, and local deities influenced by Greek art. Architectural fragments from ancient temples and fortifications, Kushan Empire, and Buddhist heritage. This is one of the most celebrated sections of the museum. Buddha heads sculpted from stucco and clay, featuring serene expressions and Greco-Buddhist artistic influence. Fragments of stupas and reliefs from ancient Buddhist monasteries in Balkh, especially from the nearby sites of Nobahar and Tepe. Kushan coins with inscriptions of rulers like Kanishka and Huvishka, symbolizing Balkh's participation in Silk Road trade. Islamic Golden Age exhibits rare Quranic manuscripts inked in Kufic and Naskh scripts, some written on parchment and others on handmade paper. Glazed tiles and ceramic pottery with turquoise, cobalt blue, and white patterns typical of early Islamic architecture. Decorative bronze lamps, incense burners, and carved wooden doors from mosques and madrasas around Balkh. Items reflecting the influence of Sufi culture, including prayer beads, handwritten poetry, and depictions of scholars like Rumi, Jalaluddin, Balkhi, believed to have early connections to Balkh. Timurid, Mongol and post-Islamic era, displays miniature weapons and shields from the Mongol period, showing the turbulent time when Balkh faced invasions by Genghis Khan's forces. Ceramics, manuscripts, metalwork, and ornamental jewelry from the Timurid dynasty when Balkh revived as a center of trade and learning. Exhibits of royal seal rings, silk garments, and carved marble tiles used in palaces and forts. Ethnographic and cultural section, traditional clothing of Uzbek, Tajik, and Turkmen communities around Balkh featuring embroidered dresses, wool hats, and tribal jewelry. Hand-woven carpets and kilims, dye samples, and tools used by local nomadic tribes. Everyday objects like copper utensils, spinning wheels, musical instruments, rubab, tabla, and household pottery. Coins, jewelry, and trade artifacts. A dedicated collection of gold, silver, and bronze coins from multiple eras. Achaemenid, Greek, Kushan, Sassanid, Islamic caliphates, and Timurid rulers. Silk Road trade artifacts, including glass beads, spices, containers, carved ivory, bronze mirrors, and Chinese porcelain fragments. Jewelry items, tiaras, bangles, engraved rings, and gemstone pendants reflecting the craftsmanship of ancient Balkh artisans. Preservation and restoration labs, behind-the-scenes facilities where experts restore broken statues, clean ancient manuscripts, and protect fragile items using modern conservation techniques. Displays of before and after restoration photos showing how artifacts were saved from war damage, erosion, or smuggling. Exterior architecture. The Balkh Museum is housed in a modest yet historically inspired building that blends traditional Afghan and Islamic architectural elements. Its structure features thick mud brick and stone walls, designed to reflect the ancient fort-like construction seen in the old city of Balkh. Arched doorways and windows, symbolizing Islamic geometry and Persian craftsmanship. A simple central dome and flat roof segments, resembling caravanserai and old madrasa designs from the Timurid era. The museum is surrounded by courtyard gardens with local trees and stone walkways, creating a peaceful atmosphere reminiscent of historic Silk Road rest stops. The outer walls are earth-toned beige-brown, blending with Balkh's desert landscape, designed to withstand climate conditions and sandstorms. Entrance and reception area. Visitors enter through a large wooden door with iron studs and hand-carved floral and geometric designs. Inside, the reception area has polished stone floors and smooth plastered walls with Persian-style stucco patterns. Large display banners showing timelines of Balkh's history from the Bronze Age to the Islamic Golden Era. A visitor desk for ticketing and guides, often staffed by local historians and archaeology students. On one side, there are security checkpoints and storage lockers, ensuring the safety of artifacts and visitors. Interior layout and floor organization. The museum typically consists of multiple galleries organized chronologically. Interior pathways are structured to guide visitors through prehistoric and Achaemenid periods, Greek Hellenistic to Kushan era, Buddhist, Balkh, early Islamic and Sufi influence, Mongol, Timurid, and post-Islamic artifacts, ethnographic and cultural displays. Each section features glass display cases with temperature control, artifact labels in Dari, Pashto, and English. Soft lighting focused on displays, leaving hallways dim for a dramatic effect. Display techniques and presentation. Artifacts rest on marble or wooden bases, secured with protective glass panels. Some larger items like stone Buddha heads, carved pillars, or ancient pottery furnaces are displayed on raised platforms. Interactive maps, digital screens, and replicas of ancient Balkh structures help visitors visualize the past. A special gallery features wall-sized murals and drawings of Balkh's historic sites, such as the Nobahar Buddhist Monastery, the walls and gates of Balkh, ancient caravan routes of the Silk Road. Library and research room. A quiet annex of the museum houses books on Afghan archaeology, Silk Road trade, Buddhist and Islamic architecture, rare manuscripts and archival photographs of excavations around Balkh, tables and reading lamps for researchers, students, and historians. Access is sometimes restricted to academics and requires permission. Preservation and storage rooms. These hidden areas are not open to the public but include climate-controlled storage rooms for delicate artifacts not on display. Restoration workshops where broken pottery, manuscripts, and sculptures are cleaned and repaired. Tools like magnifying lamps, soft brushes, ultraviolet light scanners, and humidity regulators. Courtyard and outdoor exhibits. Some larger artifacts are displayed in the museum courtyard, such as stone columns, broken statues, fragments of ancient gates, and carved inscriptions. The open area is also used for cultural performances, Nowruz celebrations, local poetry readings, and school education programs. The courtyard offers a view of Balkh's old city walls and distant mountains, grounding visitors in the geography of history. The Balkh Museum holds immense cultural, religious, and historical importance as it preserves the legacy of Balkh, known as the Mother of Cities, and one of the oldest continuously inhabited places in the world. It stands as a guardian of civilizations that once thrived here. From ancient Zoroastrians to Buddhists, Greco-Bactrians, Kushans, early Muslims, and Sufi scholars. The museum showcases relics from Zoroastrian temples, Buddhist monasteries like Nobahar, Islamic manuscripts, and Sufi artifacts, reflecting Balkh's role as a crossroads of religions, trade, and philosophy along the Silk Road. It honors figures like Rumi, Avicenna, and Rabia Balkhi, emphasizing Balkh's contributions to poetry, science, and spirituality. In a modern context, the museum symbolizes Afghan cultural resilience and identity, recovering from war, looting, and destruction to educate future generations and promote national pride. Through international cooperation with UNESCO and global archaeologists, it also serves as a bridge between cultures, highlighting Balkh's role in world history and fostering peace and dialogue. The Balkh Museum provides a deeply immersive experience for visitors, blending history, culture, and education within one of the world's oldest cities. Tourists begin their journey at the museum's entrance hall, where timelines and maps introduce the ancient evolution of Balkh. Before moving through galleries organized in chronological order from prehistoric tools to Islamic manuscripts, which creates the feeling of walking through time, information boards in Dari, Pashto, and English, along with optional guided tours led by local historians or archaeology students, help visitors understand the significance of artifacts like Buddhist statues, Zoroastrian symbols, Kushan coins, Silk Road trade items, and manuscripts from the Islamic Golden Age. The museum attracts travelers, scholars, photographers, and pilgrims, often as part of cultural tours linked to nearby heritage sites, such as the Shrine of Ali Rovzu Sharif in Muz, the ancient city walls of Balkh Nobahar Buddhist monastery ruins, and historic mosques like Kavoj Abu Nasser, Parsa. During Nowruz and cultural festivals, the museum becomes especially lively, welcoming school groups, university students, and families who attend exhibitions, poetry, recitations, and storytelling sessions. Educational programs are a core part of the museum's role, offering workshops on archaeology, artifact restoration, Persian calligraphy, pottery making, and historical research, while its small library gives access to rare books, excavation photos, and academic resources. A modest souvenir shop sells locally made crafts such as miniature Buddhist sculptures, hand-woven carpets, embroidered textiles, Persian poetry, books, and traditional jewelry, helping support local artisans and museum maintenance. Although limited in size, the Balkh Museum serves as a bridge between the past and present, providing a meaningful space where visitors not only view artifacts but connect emotionally with the ancient legacy of Balkh, its scholarly brilliance, spiritual history, and enduring cultural identity. The Balkh Museum, while historically rich, faces several challenges in preservation, security, and modernization. Decades of conflict, limited funding, and environmental threats have impacted both the building and its priceless collection. Yet, efforts are ongoing to restore, protect, and expand this cultural landmark for future generations. Major challenges and threats: war and political instability. Years of conflict in Afghanistan have damaged infrastructure, reduced tourism, and caused periods of museum closure. Some priceless artifacts were looted, smuggled, or destroyed during past unrest. Environmental damage. Dust storms, extreme temperatures, and humidity fluctuations threaten fragile manuscripts, clay statues, and metal objects. The museum lacks advanced climate control technology, increasing the risk of deterioration. Limited funding and resources. The museum operates with a small budget, relying on government support, donations, and limited tourism revenue. This makes restoration, security upgrades, and staff training difficult. Lack of international-level technology. Unlike major museums, Balkh Museum has limited digital archives, security systems, and modern exhibition tools like interactive screens or 3D reconstruction. Artifact protection and conservation efforts. Some artifacts, damaged by time and conflict, are being restored by Afghan and international experts in dedicated conservation rooms. The museum is working to catalog and digitize its collection, creating a database to prevent theft and help research. Items at high risk of damage are stored in temperature-controlled rooms when possible, and replicas are sometimes displayed instead of originals. International assistance and partnerships. Organizations like UNESCO, COM, and AGA Khan Trust for Culture have provided training, funding, and preservation technologies. European and Japanese archaeologists are helping in excavation projects around Balkh and training local staff in conservation methods. Diplomatic and cultural agreements aim to retrieve smuggled Balkh artifacts from foreign countries. Future development plans include expanding the museum space, creating a new Balkh Cultural Heritage Center, and building a modern exhibition hall with digital screens, VR experiences, and interactive history displays. A proposal exists to install solar energy systems to sustainably power lighting, climate control, and electronic displays. The museum also wants to introduce virtual tours and an online database so that researchers worldwide can access information remotely. Community involvement and youth engagement to strengthen heritage awareness. The museum collaborates with local schools and universities, encouraging young people to study archaeology, history, and museum science. Workshops, cultural festivals, poetry events, and Nowruz celebrations help the local community feel emotionally connected to the museum. Plans to involve more local women, artisans, and historians aim to promote inclusivity and cultural empowerment. The Balkh Museum is more than a collection of ancient objects. It is a living testimony to the rise and fall of civilizations, religions, and empires that once shaped one of the oldest cities in human history. As visitors walk through its galleries, they are taken on a journey from prehistoric settlements to the age of Alexander the Great, from the Buddhist monasteries of the Kushan Empire to the Islamic Golden Age and Timurid dynasties. Every coin, manuscript, sculpture, and artifact tells a story of Balkh's resilience, its role as a Silk Road crossroads, and its spiritual legacy as the mother of cities. Despite challenges such as war, looting, limited funding, and environmental threats, the museum continues to stand proudly preserving Afghan identity, educating youth, and inspiring historians, pilgrims, and travelers from all around the world. With ongoing restoration efforts, international cooperation, and future plans for modernization, the Balkh Museum is not just conserving history, it is preparing to share it with future generations. As you end your video, you can remind your viewers that protecting heritage is not just about preserving artifacts, it's about honoring the memory of humanity itself.